Good morning, I'm Eric Brax. Alright, this video is for podcasters and people who are in the mindset, well-being, identity space. I've got something to tell you for your podcasts and for your discussions amongst your peers. I seem to have discovered the actual meaning of life. And I call it that because when you see it, it's the only word that describes what it is, the only phrase. But also it lives up to its challenge, its fable, its myth, that it can fix everything almost immediately. And so much so that you can say immediately. It's really bewildering. So this is going to be the topic of discussion in the whole world over the next 10 years as we realize that everything has suddenly changed. Okay, I'm going to give you try and do it in 10 minutes for you, okay? This is the fast version. I'll have an hour-long plus version of it as well. But ultimately it comes down to love equals energy. That's the formula, that is the meaning of life. It shouldn't surprise anybody on earth that love is the meaning of life. It wants to be, it needs to be, because that's who we all are. We are all people who want to love and be loved. But the thing is, when you understand the rigorous truth of this, which is new and exciting, but also simple and obvious, it brings to us the shortest possible path to the also kind of fabled enlightenment experience. Now that's something I've experienced through doing this path. This is the short version of what I've been through in the last 10 years. The reason it comes with this enlightenment experience is because you get the sense of liberation and relief when you realize you're no longer in the water struggling, in the mouse maze trying to find your way out. So this is profound, and it's also plainly obvious when you see it. It's just the perfect runway for anybody to achieve well-being, 100% well-being. The other things it does is it's going to end wars generally really quickly, but immediately it will end bullying, loneliness, and will unify religion and science. Absolutely unexpected, but this is going to happen immediately because of this formula, love equals energy, the meaning of life. This is a very serious problem. We need to solve fusion and global warming. I believe those things go hand in hand. This is going to be solved with 10,000 times the current effort that humanity is putting into solving these issues, because it's really serious. And when we are well, we will realize the importance of that challenge, and we'll actually solve it in a way which is surprisingly enthusiastic and fun. We'll do it like a sport right across the world. Okay, now I'm going to go really fast. This is the sphere of knowledge. I'm going to put all of these on the side so you can see them, but ultimately you can read some of these if you need to. I'm just going to skip over the ones that I don't need to show because you guys are experts, right? Alright, now those two were introductory ones. These four are the derivation of the meaning of life. It starts from this dialogue about love, the path of love. You guys all know that, so I'm not going to go through it now. But it basically says the whole world believes and understands that love is the way to be. This is a more sensible way of thinking about who we are as people. 10,000 years ago, we didn't have all of this knowledge. In fact, when we put our hand on the side of the cave, we had almost no intellect, but we had these features, i.e. this is who we are, we're love. This is the scientific view of the universe since the Big Bang, and we are the fruit of the universe. There's nothing else as miraculous as we are. So we just need the join between consciousness and the space of physics, which is represented by the letter E for energy. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to expand the word love. Typically, it's something that we think of as an emotional experience. But love, if I took my brain and spinal cord out and put it on a table, it's going to die. So we have to consider our whole body as the consciousness. That's a fair thing to require. So scientifically, if we call the word love everything that's good for a human being, so that it's our emotional requirements, but also our physical requirements. This means food, water, shelter, air, the sunlight, the rain. These represent human love, the whole thing, as well as kindness and community. When we do that, we're comfortable, we're safe. And when we think of a rabbit, we think, well, a rabbit has the same love as humans do, except that a rabbit needs to be able to burrow into the soil to create its shelter. So that would be part of rabbit love. We can extend this to the entire plant kingdom. Nutrients in the soil are required for all the plants. So that's part of plant love. So far, so good. Love representing perfect conditions, or even just adequate conditions for a thing to thrive. But it doesn't just work at this level. If we go down to the cells in our bodies, if we take a cell out, it dies. It requires to be surrounded by the environment that's just right for it to go on into the next frame of time in the universe. Now that's the same for the proteins inside the cell, and even right down to the quantum mechanical, where particles are coming in and out of existence, and perfect conditions allow them to remain in this universe next frame of time. Ultimately, what we're able to say then is that love is the quantum mechanical process of this evolving universe. Love equals energy. It says this is the consciousness side, this is the physical side. We are love in a universe of love. And there are synonyms of love which are really obvious and sensible. Love, God, truth. Truth is the biggest word of all, but love is how we feel it. Beauty, energy, the universe, life, reality, these are all love. We live in a universe of love. So love equals energy is now a token that we can use that represents our identity of love. Keep that in mind, because right now I'm going to quickly go through the quickest path to transcendence of enlightenment using love equals energy. Now this first diagram shouldn't surprise any of you, because this is what you all know and agree with. And this path of life here, where it starts with struggle, where we don't have a choice, and then we find this point of knowing thyself, of getting a higher awareness, and from that point on, life is really bliss as long as we stay on the path, which is really easy and enjoyable. What's really important about this method, and the way I know that this is all right, is because nobody gets left behind. This is like what I call the Jesus model. So the thing about Jesus is, he was the first one to proclaim that love had this special power. It's so reliable, it's mechanically sound. And he spoke about being kind to others and forgiving in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. Now a lot of mystical stuff is associated with that as well, but we can pretty much pass that out and say for sure in the modern world that's a mystical aspect that was part of those times. But Jesus was right in terms of love being the way for us to move forward in a strong way. We don't have to prescribe how to be loving. We foundationally all know it. So this diagram mostly is saying that the fear program is the one that stuffs up our love. We are love. We become born. The fear program, fight, flight, freeze and fawn, leaves our love in a tangled mess, and we become ineffective. We become depressed. When we add just a word to this, formulate, and use it every single time, love becomes uninterrupted and goes full beam for the rest of our lives. Similarly over here, this is the Buddhist diagram, but it's a similar kind of situation. Ultimately, we just need to clean our bulb, and we can do that using the KFAG model. KFAG just stands for kindness, forgiveness, acceptance, and gratitude. They're just 4 components of love that make it easy for our mind to work with them. This is the KFAG model, the actual one. This is our autopilot, our higher awareness, and we're going to just put all of our subconscious, we're going to fill it up with love. Kindness, forgiveness, acceptance, and gratitude. This is a program where we install it. We kind of overwrite ourselves and take this on as our identity. We shouldn't have any fear to do that, because it's all love after all. And when you think about it, love is the only thing that can heal. But this is step 1, you see, understanding the past. When we understand our past and we've processed it in a manner where it no longer bothers us, we're all good. Easiest way to think about that is we carry zero victimology. We proudly consider, really, I think I carry zero victimology, and we go forward with that notion. It's a personal responsibility thing as well. Step 2 is communication recovery. It's to say that all of our communication styles are somewhere on the bell curve, but some people's communication is fantastic, and it's really quite easy for us to figure out what it is we're doing wrong. When we listen to the world's best experts about communication and take their truths on as our own, we stand a really good chance of becoming pretty good communicators ourselves. Once we've done communication recovery, which includes journaling to communicate with ourselves, to stay in touch with what our objectives are, then it's just a case of maintenance. We just live joyfully. Okay, this is the thing that you really aren't expecting. But in the same sense as in the personal enlightenment examples that I just talked about, it's happening to us as a society. Everything that's happened so far, this story of bullying, we're at this point right now, and because we're all connected digitally, we can vote and say love equals energy is who we are. That is, we can lock in our identity, our true identity, that we choose as higher awareness humans. And by doing that, we transcend our animal origins, our reactive selves. All of these people, whole families and communities, died with nothing, nowhere to complain. So on behalf of them, we're going to lock this in and say we are love. And it's not just us that'll agree with that, but all the big companies, because that's us too. They're going to promote this, and what they're going to do is start creating what's called the reconfiguration of knowledge. So I said that we can teach this by adding the extra word formulate in the fear program. That's one of the ways and one of the important things. But all of this information is extremely teachable. We're going to start with love equals energy in the middle. That's our identity, the identity of ourselves in the entire universe. A way to be, which is that short track to enlightenment, followed by human history, and from that radiates all human knowledge. This will be built by one or all of these big companies. So we just need an accreditation system so that we can find our way in and know where we are in the sphere of human knowledge. This is going to lead to us being able to throw away the doomsday clock, and it's going to lead to many more scientists and people who are up to date with what's going on with science. So we're going to end up having almost teams, local teams of scientists trying to solve, in a sense like the maths prizes, solve the next main things on our path to solving fusion and global warming. It's going to be something we're happy to look at each evening in the news to find out what's going on, as well as all the other good things that are going to happen all around the world over the next 10 years. So we have here two halves of our society. There's natural wisdom, which is held by religion, and there's natural logic, which is held by science. Each of these sides will really enthusiastically go for this, and the result of that is that the churches will focus more on the words of Jesus rather than the stories about Jesus, those mystical stories. But we know those values, those morals anyway. Generally, it's deep in us. So the church's role in the future will simply, all churches, all spiritual paths, where there is a place in every single town, many places of spiritual indulgence, those places will be open all day Sunday, offering free tea and cakes supplied by their local communities. The people getting well and coming outside to meet people will be going there, and couples can meet couples, singles can meet singles. We'll all be scientists and priests and artists. We'll all find our expressive selves again as well. It's going to be an absolute joy to bring our societies back out into the open with 100% mental wellness. Russia and China, the people there are going to get this information too, and gradually they too will soften. The Buddhist word relax is a major one, isn't it? And in 20 years' time, nobody will even consider war as an option. Let me read the last sentence and then we're done. So we can trust this path. First of all, that derivation of love equals energy is totally legit. We are love in a universe of love. And by using our digital means of connection, we can vote this in, lock it in, so that governments can take steps straight away to put this information into schools and get healthy kids graduating. Okay, so now we can trust this path. It's free. It literally is free. It's scalable. It'll go around the entire world as quickly as it will in your home, okay? It's unifying. No difference again now between science and religion. We're all connected. You see, it's all about the intellect coming home on its hero's journey and being tethered again to the heart. The intellect is great, but it does have to know what its identity is so that we end up focusing on the right things and having wonderful experiences together. This system is also fully transparent. It's really clear whether it's going in the right direction or not to every single person. It's almost instant. It is almost instant. It can be communicated using 12 images alone. You don't have to memorize any of this. It's just fact. This is amazing. This is why it's the true meaning of life and delivering the human dream. And it's fully in accord with all human knowledge. This is how we know this is the one. Love equals energy. The reconfiguration of knowledge is the path forward for humanity to transcend our animal origins. And you may consider other options for getting global wellness. There are none. That's how we know this is correct. Get me on your podcast. We'll talk about it and we'll spread this through the entire world. We'll start the party. Alrighty? Okay. Thank you.